head up high, my back straight. I'm 10 toes down in Florida. Anywhere else I go, and I know that no matter what, it's not a on this earth that can ever me in my life.
You know what I'm saying? It look that's live too right there.
Yeah, it's live. That's when they say live up top.
He later claimed that he removed some of the posts not because he regretted them, but because he was concerned about potential consequences for his account. Because of that history, many fans interpreted Jay-Z's lyrics as a response to those remarks and a defense of his family. Media personalities were quick to weigh in. According to DJ Academics, the freestyle sounded like Jay-Z addressing nearly everyone who had criticized, challenged, or spoken about him over the last several years. In Academics' view, the list of targets appeared to include Kanye West, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Dame Dash, Tory Lanez, and others. What stood out to many observers was Jay-Z's energy during the performance. Academics noted that he hadn't seen Jay appear that emotionally invested in a public response for quite some time. The conversation didn't stop there. Many listeners also believed Jay-Z directed lyrics toward Nicki Minaj. One particular section of the freestyle immediately drew attention because fans interpreted it as a reference to Nicki's husband, Kenneth Petty. That interpretation quickly spread online and generated strong reactions from supporters and critics alike. Some people felt Jay-Z crossed a line by bringing family members into the discussion, while others argued he was simply responding to years of public criticism from multiple directions. The debate eventually led to reactions from figures connected to Nicki Minaj's fanbase, with social media quickly becoming divided over the performance. At the same time, DJ Academics offered a separate critique of the freestyle itself. While praising Jay-Z as one of the greatest MCs and live performers in hip-hop history, he admitted that something about the performance felt slightly different than what fans are accustomed to hearing. According to Academics, there were moments where Jay seemed less polished than usual. He pointed out that Jay-Z is typically known for delivering every line clearly without relying on backing tracks, which is one reason many consider him an elite performer. However, he felt this particular freestyle lacked some of the smoothness and precision that fans often associate with Jay's best live moments. Still, any discussion about the delivery quickly took a back seat once listeners started focusing on what appeared to be shots aimed at Drake. And that's where things really exploded online. At the moment, Drake remains one of the most dominant artists in the world, especially after the success of his recent releases. Because of that, many fans immediately began debating whether Drake should respond to Jay-Z at all. Some argued that Drake has reached a point where responding would only give the freestyle more attention. Others compared the situation to past hip-hop rivalries, suggesting Drake should simply continue focusing on his own success rather than engaging in another public back and forth. Ironically, many people pointed out that despite Jay-Z reuniting with longtime collaborators during the event, much of the conversation afterward centered almost entirely on the lyrics that appeared to target Drake. One of the lines that generated the most discussion involved Jay-Z emphasizing his accomplishments, influence, and business success while appearing to dismiss comparisons to other rappers. Fans immediately began analyzing whether those bars were directed at Drake specifically or whether they were aimed at multiple artists at once. The speculation only intensified after reports surfaced that Drake had taken notice of the performance. But to fully understand why these lyrics generated such a strong reaction, it's important to look at the history between Jay-Z and Drake and how tensions between the two artists developed over the years.
Jay-Z never put Drake after Drake dipped out on him. Like, Drake was the only person, the only artist. You see Nicki right now salty, like, oh my God, I signed the letter to be on the board of Tidal or whatever, and I never got no money. You got all the money, and you're that's kind of what happened. I told you, like, Jay-Z finessed everybody. It's like, no, this is for the artist, by the artist. Look at all these artists, they're co-owners. Jay-Z took all the money, bro, and dipped on these. He wanted to bring Drake over there. Drake was like, man, I ain't coming over there. Yo, Drake probably had his lawyer, probably even have his lawyers. Drake probably read that himself. Like, yo, who gonna buy into this? And I think Drake thought that was a move of Jay-Z sending Meek at him when it was the song Charged Up. Remember, that's why he did back-to-back afterwards.
With what many fans viewed as a long-running but mostly unspoken tension between the two artists, the release of Iceman seemed to change everything. What had largely remained speculation suddenly felt much more public, especially after Jay-Z's recent comments and freestyle performance. Just days before Iceman arrived, Jay-Z gave an interview that immediately caught people's attention. During the conversation, he spoke about authenticity in music and how age can affect the way certain records are received. Jay-Z explained that when artists try to create music aimed at a younger audience while no longer being part of that generation themselves, listeners can often sense when it doesn't feel genuine. In his words, if you're trying to make young music when you're not young anymore, the result may come across as inauthentic, and audiences are usually able to recognize that. Those comments quickly sparked debate online because many fans interpreted them as a subtle shot at Drake. While Jay-Z never directly mentioned Drake by name, the timing of the remarks, coming just days before the release of Iceman, led many people to connect the dots for themselves. Whether the comments were actually directed at Drake or were simply a broader observation about the music industry remains open to interpretation. However, once the freestyle at Roots Picnic followed shortly afterward, a lot of listeners became convinced that Jay-Z was no longer keeping his opinions private. And from that point on, the conversation surrounding Iceman became about more than just the music. Fans were suddenly focused on a potential new rivalry between two of the biggest names hip-hop has seen over the last 2 decades.
I'm gonna say the elephant in the room, man. This is hating Jay-Z once again. He talking to Drake, man. You know Drake turning 40 this year. He trying to like, yo, he one of them type of gonna give you the bad advice that hopefully you follow. And then when you get unsuccessful, you be like, well, at least you tried. You know, at least, you know them people be like, well, at least you did it the right way. Man, if you don't get the out of here, Jay-Z. Jay-Z had a whole career. That nigga said 30's a new 20 when he became 30. The nigga said, I'm young forever. And now that he's 70, he's trying to tell other niggas, nah, y'all gotta make music like y'all old now, man.
After Jay-Z's comments and the buzz surrounding his freestyle, many fans began looking closely at Drake's new music for a response. According to listeners, Drake appeared to address critics, media figures, and members of the rap industry throughout several tracks on Iceman, particularly on a song called Janice. Based on fan interpretations of the lyrics, Drake seemed focused on people he felt turned against him following his highly publicized feud with Kendrick Lamar. Many listeners connected certain bars to the backlash he received during that period, as well as the celebration that followed from some of his critics. Some fans also believe Drake took subtle shots at Jay-Z and other veteran figures in hip-hop, essentially sending the message that he remains one of the industry's dominant forces regardless of what others say about him. Social media quickly picked apart specific lyrics. One line in particular sparked conversation because listeners interpreted it as a response to older industry figures who Drake feels have benefited from his success while also criticizing him publicly. Whether that interpretation is accurate or not, it became yet another talking point in an already chaotic week of headlines involving Jay-Z, Drake, and some of the biggest names in hip-hop. Drake didn't stop there. On another track, Whisper My Name, listeners focused on a lyric that many saw as a clever reference to one of the internet's most popular debates. Would you rather receive a large sum of money or have dinner with Jay-Z? By choosing the money in the lyric, fans believed Drake was making it clear where he stood on the conversation, turning a popular meme into a subtle response. As speculation continued to grow, Drake was also seen appearing publicly and interacting with supporters who encouraged him to stay focused despite the criticism. During one conversation, he received praise and encouragement from people who viewed him as the biggest artist in the game and believed he should continue moving forward without worrying about outside opinions. Then came Drake's first major performance following the release of Iceman. During the show, he addressed the audience and spoke about maintaining confidence in the face of criticism. Without directly naming anyone, Drake made it clear that he wasn't allowing negativity to affect him. He told fans that he keeps his head high, stands firmly behind himself, and refuses to let anyone define his value or success. He also encouraged the crowd to carry that same confidence into their own lives and not allow setbacks or criticism to break their spirit. The speech immediately generated attention online because many people viewed it as Drake's strongest public response yet to everything that had been happening around him. Not long afterward, fans also noticed Drake sharing lighter moments with close friends, leading some to believe he was laughing off much of the controversy rather than taking it too seriously. As always, social media users began analyzing every interaction, every joke, and every appearance, searching for hidden meanings and possible references to the ongoing tension. Meanwhile, another topic from Jay-Z's freestyle also caught people's attention. During the performance, Jay appeared to reference the famous Rock Nation brunches, events that had long been associated with networking and celebrity culture. Fans immediately began debating why those gatherings had largely disappeared over the years. That discussion eventually led to commentary from media personalities, including DJ Academics, who shared his own theory about why the brunches stopped happening. According to his interpretation, many of the relationships and dynamics surrounding those events had changed over time, leading to a very different environment than what originally existed. Whether that explanation is accurate or not, it became yet another talking point in an already chaotic week of headlines involving Jay-Z, Drake, and some of the biggest names in hip-hop.
Call a little bit cap on J4. He says, cancel the brunches. I remember the hunger pain. Jay-Z, you cancel the brunches because you had the all-star of at your brunches, and people were realizing that you were too close to all of the in hip-hop. Let's be honest. Like, he's trying. You didn't cancel the brunches to get back down to the streets. You canceled the brunches because you realized there's some weirdo parties that was happening there.